Hey everyone, welcome back to Creepy Mysteries. First off, a huge thank you to all of you for the amazing support you've shown so far. Your comments and likes mean a lot to me and keep this channel going. If you're new here, I'd love for you to stick around and join our mysterious journey. Don't forget to leave a comment and share your thoughts. It helps the channel grow and keeps the spooky stories coming. Now let's dive into today's stories. Breakups are never easy, but mine with Lisa was worse than most. We had been together for 2 years, and for the first year, things were good, maybe even great. But then, little things started piling up. Lisa became controlling, possessive. She would check my phone when I wasn't looking, question me if I was even 5 minutes late getting home, and worst of all, she would just show up at my place unannounced, as if she was testing me. The final straw was when she followed me to a bar one night, convinced I was cheating. She sat in her car across the street, watching me through the windows like some kind of stalker. When I confronted her about it, she broke down crying, screaming that she needed me and that she would never let me go. I broke up with her that night. She didn't take it well. For weeks, she flooded my phone with messages, apologies, threats, emotional breakdowns. She left voicemails at all hours, whispering that she couldn't sleep without hearing my voice. I blocked her number, but she found ways around it, using different apps or calling from unknown numbers. Eventually, she moved out of state to live with her sister, and after months of silence, I thought I was finally free. But then, about a week ago, the calls started again. It was always late at night, right around 3 a.m. My phone would buzz, and when I checked the screen, it just said unknown number. At first, I ignored it, probably just spam or a scam call. But when it happened 3 nights in a row, I finally answered. The line was silent. Not the kind of silence where you could hear background noise or someone breathing. This was complete dead silence. "Hello," I said. No response. I waited a few more seconds before hanging up, telling myself it was just some glitch or prank. The next night, the call came again. Same time, same unknown number. This time when I picked up, I heard something faint, breathing, slow, steady, like someone was just sitting there listening. I hung up immediately. By the fifth night, the breathing wasn't alone anymore. When I answered, I heard something else. A giggle. It was quiet, almost playful. A woman's voice. Chills ran down my spine. "Who is this?" I demanded. No answer. Just another soft, eerie giggle before the line went dead. At this point, I was officially creeped out. I blocked the number, but it didn't matter. The calls kept coming, and no matter how many times I blocked them, a new unknown number would appear the next night. A few nights later, I was lying in bed scrolling through my phone when I got another call. 3 a.m., unknown number. My stomach twisted. I didn't want to answer, but something in me, the same morbid curiosity that makes people look behind shower curtains in horror movies, compelled me to pick up. The second I did, I regretted it. This time, there was no breathing, no giggling. Instead, I heard a whisper, a woman's voice, and what she said made my blood run cold. "I miss you." I froze. The voice was familiar. "Lisa?" I whispered, my throat dry. Silence. Then after a moment, in the softest, most chilling voice, she whispered, "Turn around." I stopped breathing. My back was to the closet that I was sure had been shut before I got into bed. But now in the darkness of my room, I could see something out of the corner of my eye. The door was open just a crack, just enough for someone to be standing inside, watching me. My heart hammered in my chest. I forced myself to turn, my breath caught in my throat. The closet was dark, too dark, like the shadows inside were deeper than they should have been. Then, something moved, a shifting shape, just barely visible in the darkness. I dropped my phone and lunged for the lamp on my nightstand, flicking it on in a panic. The room flooded with light and the closet was empty. The door stood half open, just as I'd seen it, but there was no one inside. No movement, nothing. Shaking, I picked up my phone from the floor. The call was still connected, but now instead of whispers, there was a new sound, a faint scratching noise. Not from the phone, from inside the closet. I grabbed the closet door and yanked it open the rest of the way. Nothing. Just my clothes hanging motionless on their hangers. Then I noticed something strange. All of my shirts, the ones that had been hanging facing me, were now turned backward. The collars were still hooked onto the hangers, but they were all flipped around, like someone had carefully, deliberately reversed them. And carved into the back wall of my closet, scratched deep into the wood, was a single word: mine. I barely slept that night. I kept every light on, checking over my shoulder every few seconds, convinced that at any moment I'd see something standing in my doorway. The next night, I refused to pick up the phone when it rang at 3:30 a.m. But it didn't matter, because this time, it wasn't just a call. My phone buzzed with a text. The message was from unknown number. It said, "I'm still here." I didn't respond. I couldn't. I just sat there staring at my phone, my hands shaking. Then slowly, almost casually, another text came through. "Come open the door." My breath caught in my throat. There was a soft knock. Not from my front door, not from my bedroom door, from inside the closet. I grabbed my keys, my wallet, and my phone and ran. I didn't look back. I didn't stop running until I was in my car, speeding down the highway toward my friend's place across town. I haven't gone back to my apartment since. I don't know what I'll find if I do, but I know one thing for sure. Lisa isn't in another state. She never left. She's still here, and she's waiting for me to come back. I used to live with my ex-girlfriend Laura in a small rental house just outside of town. The place was old but cozy, with one weird quirk. The basement door was locked from the outside, and the landlord specifically told us never to go down there. At first, we didn't think much of it. We had no reason to go into the basement anyway. But as time passed, strange things started happening. At night, we'd hear soft noises coming from the basement, faint thuds, scratching sounds, sometimes even what sounded like footsteps. We tried to ignore it, convincing ourselves it was just the house settling or maybe mice. But then, one night Laura woke me up around 1 a.m., shaking my arm. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. I listened. At first there was silence. Then from below us, 3 slow knocks, coming from inside the basement. We both sat up, staring at the locked door at the end of the hallway. The knocking didn't happen again, but I could feel it. Something was down there. A few nights later, Laura woke me up again. But this time, she wasn't in bed. She was standing by the bedroom door, staring into the hallway. Her posture was stiff, almost unnatural. I called her name, but she didn't respond. Then, in the dim glow of the nightlight, I saw her slowly raise her hand and point at the basement door. I jumped out of bed and shook her. She blinked, looking at me in confusion. "What are you doing, Mus?" I asked. She looked around, clearly disoriented. I don't know. I was sleeping." The next morning, she had no memory of it. That was when things started getting worse. One night, I woke up to the sound of the basement door creaking open. I shot up in bed, my heart hammering. The hallway was completely dark, but I could see the basement door was now wide open. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight, shining it down the stairs. The light barely cut through the darkness. But I swear, I saw something move at the bottom. Something tall, something with 2 long fingers gripping the railing. I slammed the door shut and locked it. By morning, Laura and I agreed. We needed to move out. But that night she woke up again, standing in the hallway, facing the basement, muttering something under her breath. I got out of bed and pulled her back. "Laura, wake up!" She turned to me, but her face wasn't hers. Her eyes were black, her mouth twisted into a horrible, stretched grin. And in a voice that wasn't hers, she whispered, "You should have left the door open." Then she collapsed. The next morning, she remembered nothing. We left that day. I never told her what I saw. I didn't want to scare her more than she already was. But a few weeks later, out of curiosity, I checked the rental listing for our old house. The description had changed. At the bottom in small print, it said, "Basement permanently sealed. Do not attempt to open the door." I never looked back, but sometimes I wake up at night with the image burned into my mind. Laura standing in that hallway, pointing at the basement door. And I wonder, what would have happened if I had let it open? Breakups are supposed to be the end of something, a clean break, a way to move on. But when I broke up with my ex-girlfriend Hannah, it felt like something was still lingering, like she was still watching me. Hannah and I dated for about a year before things got bad. She had always been a little clingy, but over time, it turned into full-blown obsession. She needed to know where I was at all times, demanded to FaceTime me randomly just to make sure I wasn't with anyone, and even tried to make friends with my coworkers so she could keep an eye on me. The night we broke up, she lost it. She screamed at me, threw things, even threatened to hurt herself if I didn't reconsider. I left and blocked her on everything, hoping she'd eventually move on. For a while, I thought she did. I didn't hear from her for months. Then one night, I started noticing something strange. It started with a photo. I was scrolling through my phone's camera roll when I saw something I knew I hadn't taken. A picture of my bedroom, taken from inside my closet. I froze. The picture was taken at night while I was asleep. I could see myself in bed, turned away from the camera. The timestamp said it had been taken at 1:11 a.m. the night before. I locked my phone and immediately checked the closet. It was empty. Nothing seemed out of place, but I couldn't shake the feeling that someone had been there. A few days later, I got a notification from my cloud storage. Your backup is complete. 3 new photos uploaded. I opened the app, my stomach twisting. The first photo was a picture of my kitchen, taken from the hallway. The second was of my bathroom mirror, my shower curtain half drawn, as if someone had peeked inside. The third was another picture of me sleeping, this time taken from right beside my bed. I stared at the images, my body cold with fear. Someone had been in my apartment. Someone had been standing next to me while I slept. I immediately checked my locks, installed new security cameras, and even slept with a knife under my pillow. I thought that would be the end of it. It wasn't. The next night, I woke up to a soft noise, a faint rustling sound. I reached for my phone, but before I could turn on the flashlight, my screen lit up on its own. Someone was airdropping me a photo. I hesitated, my hands shaking, before finally accepting the image. It was a photo of me, taken right then, in real time, from inside my closet. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I could feel someone watching me. Then in the dim glow of my phone screen, I saw it. The closet door. It was open just an inch wider than before. I lunged out of bed, grabbed my keys, and ran. I called the police from my car, but when they searched my apartment, they found nothing. No signs of forced entry, no hidden cameras, no intruder. Just my phone sitting on my bed with one more photo on the screen, a picture of my bedroom door, taken from inside the closet, with a caption underneath. See you tonight. I never went back. I don't know how she got in, or if it was even her at all. But I do know one thing. Whoever, or whatever, was in my apartment wasn't finished with me yet. Thank you for watching and taking the time to listen to this story. If you enjoyed it and want to hear more, please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Your support means a lot and helps keep these stories coming. If you found this story interesting, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, a like and share go a long way in helping spread these stories. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.